This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're at the 9th annual LD Micro main event in Bel Air, California. With me right now is John Budreski from EnWave Corporation. It's a publicly traded company with the symbol ENW on the TSX Venture. John, welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you. Great pleasure to be here today.
It's great to have you on the program. So for our audience, let's start off with an overview of the company and then go from there.
Sure. Our technology is radiant energy vacuum. It's an advanced drying technology, and it allows us to remove water from organic material without any collateral damage or effects. So in other words, if you air dry something, you're going to not only remove the water, but you're going to heat it and you're going to oxidize it. And those are two ancillary effects. If you freeze dry something, the ice crystals will pierce the cell membranes and make it mushy and have it leak water and so forth. We have the ability in a very tightly formed regime to remove water at the temperature of our choosing, remove the water without any other effects, and to remove water to whatever endpoint level that we seek to do. The result of that is we are a superior dried product producer.
So like I sometimes eat dried apricots and dried pineapples. So you provide the technology in order to create that product?
Yes, we do. We manufacture the equipment and we sell the equipment to different food operators, and that allows them to manufacture that product. So if you're thinking about a dried apricot, you would be having an apricot that has been taken from the tree, it's been blanched, it's been cleaned up, and then it is air dried, which means it's warmed up through warm air passing by it. So the difference in taste of that apricot from a fresh apricot is the removal of water and cooking and oxidizing. We would sell you, or we would provide for you, a dried apricot that is different from the original fruit by only the removal of the water, a superior dried fruit. And the nutritive value retains the same, where in a cooking process, you kill a nutritive value.
That was actually going to be my next question, and you answered it for me.
Okay.
So first, I also want to know is, what's the history of the company? You know, how did it get started, and where did the technology come from?
Okay, the concept of microwave drying has been around for a long time. Drying in a vacuum is something that's fairly obvious. If you reduce the air pressure, water will leave the organic material at room temperature. If you add microwave to that process, you excite the water molecules and they will leave the organic material at a faster rate. They'll also leave from the center at the same time they're leaving from the outside, where in typical drying you dry from the outside in. So this had its start in the mid-90s. Our chief executive officer, Dr. Tim Durrance, at the time was a professor, a teaching professor at the University of British Columbia. He was searching for an alternative drying method, came across this, and it was not perfected at the time. The challenge in microwave drying is that when you create a vacuum and you introduce microwaves, the microwaves want to form a plasma. And so that creates the effect like you have at home when there's a piece of metal in your microwave oven and it starts to arc and spark. So Tim and his group of scientists and engineers have mastered the physics of having microwave in a vacuum environment. And so that's a five-factor equation, which is what is the shape of the vessel, what is the shape of the crucible that holds the organic material, how much vacuum, how much microwave, and how much time. And if you can solve that five-factor equation of physics, you can vacuum, microwave, dry, and we're the only ones who can do it.
So does the company also have IP and patent protection on the technology?
We certainly do. We have a ton of know-how, but more importantly, we have 17 patents that we use to protect either the design of the equipment or the process that's used to go through it.
And what about the competition? I mean, I can imagine that there's the mom and pop shops who, do it the old-fashioned way to dry the fruit. But are there other companies that are developing technology to also, do what you guys are trying to do?
There is some competitors in the marketplace, but nobody's been able to really solve it. And when I mentioned about the microwave forming a plasma, this is a process that it's not that somebody can produce an acceptable result and somebody can produce a superior result. The way I'd look at this is that you either have excellent drying through microwave vacuum drying, or you have catastrophic failure because the plasma forms and you're going to ruin your material. So we have seen some small-scale, barely commercial machines in the marketplace. One of our innovations is that we can process on a continuous basis. The small-scale equipment that we see processes on a batch basis. So if you're a large commercial operator, loading and unloading machines is a very inefficient way to go. So we're not, we watch our competition, but we think that we're very far ahead of the competition in terms of our advanced technology.
I also want to know about the adoption rates. How are you able to convert people who are doing it the traditional way to start, utilizing your technology?
So when we started this conversation, I talked about us being a disruptive technology. If somebody wants to make a better dried banana chip using our technology, they can do so. But we have millions of Americans who are quite happy with the dried banana chips that they're eating today. Where we come into this marketplace is we allow somebody to do something different and disrupt the marketplace. So one of the signature products using this technology is moon cheese. Take small cubes of cheese, dry them. When you remove the water from cheese, it becomes shelf stable at room temperature. So we put that into a package. It's being sold at Starbucks today, along with about 10,000 other grocery stores that are selling it. But now you have a dry cheese product that is all the goodness of cheese, shelf stable for a year or two, and no additives. What we're doing here is we're allowing the dairy industry to stop competing with each other in the refrigerated goods section, and we're allowing the dairy industry to now go to the front of the store and compete against dried meat products, fruit and nut products. I like to say that we're selling guns at a knife fight. We're allowing the dairy industry to compete with the meat folks, which they haven't done traditionally before. So the adoption rate for us is finding those operators who want to approach an old business a new way and use this technology to disrupt the way that business is being conducted.
And from what you can tell me, who are some of your customers of the technology currently that you're licensing it out to?
So we call them partners because we're going to be working with these people for a long time. But we've done a project with Hormel Foods, who makes Spam. One of the more interesting projects is with a company called Bonduelle, which is a global French frozen vegetable company. And again, they're using our technology a little differently. What Bonduelle does is takes the water content of a fresh vegetable from 85% down to about 70%, and then they freeze that vegetable in the old-fashioned way. When that vegetable is thawed, the ice crystals haven't pierced the cell membrane, so it's crisp, not mushy. It doesn't leak the water out, as you see like on the top of a pizza where the vegetables make the cheese kind of goopy, if that's a scientific term. And then the color is brighter because there's less water in it, and the flavor is stronger because there's less water in it. So there's a place where one of our partners is coming in and using our technology to disrupt a business that's already in existence. So we've got Bonduelle. We've got other smaller food operators that we have. There's a family who's a food operator out of Washington State who's using the technology to do a better version of dried fruit. We've been signing up dairy companies or dairy cooperatives in different parts of the world. We don't typically mention the names of those, but we have a moon cheese type of license in Chile, one in Costa Rica, one in Spain and Portugal, one's going into Greece, we have one in Turkey as well. So it's a variety of operators from family business to large global companies.
I also want to know about the trends in this industry. I mean, dried foods have been around for forever, but it seems like it's kind of been it's gotten the check seal of approval as a healthy snack. So have you seen that affecting the business at all?
The trend is our friend here, for sure. 1 in 5 meals is now in the form of a snack, and because we produce a better quality snack product, more snacks in general for human consumption means better business for EnWave. Protein is a theme, and if you think about buying a protein bar, you're looking at buying something that has 14 grams of protein in it, and all those other grams are typically corn fructose or something that's sweet. We can help operators produce a protein bar that perhaps is mixed with yogurt and save the probiotics in the yogurt. So now you get a protein bar that is good for you on both counts, not just on one count. The dairy industry, as I mentioned before, is trying to compete outside of the refrigerated goods section, so we're getting a lot of traction with the dairy industry. So all of this snackification initiative or effort going forward plays into us.
And what's your background? How did you get into all this?
I'm an engineer by original schooling. I did a lot of work in the investment business, starting from sort of a lowly grunt up until CEO of a company. I got involved with this company about 3 years ago. I've made a specialty out of working with companies that have royalties as their business model. And that's what's very important about EnWave, and what attracted me to EnWave is we manufacture equipment. We sell that equipment to an operator. We make a small profit for doing that. We prescribe for that operator a piece of geography and a product spec. And in that geography and product spec, we will sell no equipment to a competitor. We want the operator to dominate that particular space. So the Moon Cheese business has the license for snack cheese product across America. So we will not sell a cheese machine to anybody else across America. In return for that exclusivity and helping them to dominate their sector, they pay us a royalty. So our business model is really simple. Sell a machine for a small profit and continue to collect royalty checks in the years following.
So John, as well as helping some of these industries stay exclusive in that product that they're working on, do you also then retain the rights to the design of the machines that you're providing?
The machines are built under patents that we own. So somebody can buy the machine from us. It's not like they can replicate it or do something else. If they need additional equipment, they're buying additional equipment from us. If there's enhancements to the equipment, we'll be doing the enhancing of the equipment.
Got it. So from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's goals and milestones for the first half of 2017?
Oh, it's very simple. We're trying to get as many machines with as many operators in as many jurisdictions, doing as many products as we can. So our goals are to sell more machines. And so this is where it's a bit challenging for investors at times. We do not have visibility into what the operators are going to do. They're going to buy a machine from us, introduce a new product, and the product will catch on at the rate that the population wants to buy that product. So we're a little bit at the mercy of how the food operator is developing the product in the marketplace. So when I look at our environment and say, I don't know who's going to buy a machine necessarily. I know who we're working with and who seems to be pursuing the business vigorously, but it's hard to predict. So the simple business strategy for that environment is talk to as many people as you can. Get as many people doing the research, get as many people advancing new products as you can, and that's what we do with a vengeance. One of our lead business development person has been away 88 days this year. I do business development. I was away 22 days this year. We have a couple of other people who are doing machine installations, commissioning, and improvement of equipment. They've been away for 60 days each this year. There is not a week that some EnWave person isn't in another country.
And where can our audience go and find more information about EnWave?
Go to our website, www.enwave.net. And you'll see a lot on there about how our company works, some of the products we make, and some of the partners that we deal with.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNNLive, and we're here at the 9th Annual LD Micro Main Event in Bel Air, California. With me again is John Budreski from EnWave Corporation, publicly traded company with the symbol ENW on the TSX Venture. John, thank you again for joining.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.